By far, most of the ecological ventures most often used to counterbalance ozone-harming substance discharges seem to have key downfalls, recommending they can't be depended upon to cut planet-warming outflows, as per another investigation. The worldwide, multi-billion-dollar intentional carbon exchanging industry has been embraced by legislatures, associations, and partnerships, including oil and gas organizations, carriers, cheap food brands, design houses, tech firms, workmanship exhibitions, and colleges, as an approach to professing to lessen their ozone-harming substance impression. It works via carbon offset credits being tradable stipends, or testaments that permit the buyer to make up for 1 ton of carbon dioxide or the same in ozone-harming substances by putting resources into ecological ventures that diminish fossil fuel byproducts. Nonetheless, there is mounting proof suggesting that a considerable number of these offset plans misrepresent environmental advantages and underrate likely damages. In another examination, the gatekeeper and scientists from Corporate Responsibility, a non-benefit transnational corporate guard dog, dissected the main 50 emanation offset projects, those that have sold the most carbon credits in the worldwide market. As per our measures and grouping framework, a total of 39 of the main 50 discharge offset projects, or 78% of them, were sorted as reasonable garbage or useless because of at least one basic shortfall that sabotaged their guaranteed outflow cuts. 8 others, 16%, look hazardous, with proof suggesting they might have somewhere around one major falling flat and are possibly garbage, as per the grouping framework applied. The viability of the excess of 3 undertakings, 6%, couldn't be resolved authoritatively as there was inadequate public free data to sufficiently evaluate the nature of the credits as well as the precision of their guaranteed environmental benefits. Generally speaking, $1.16 billion, pound 937 M, of carbon credits have been exchanged such a long way from the ventures characterized by the examination as probable garbage or useless. A further $400 M of credits traded were possibly garbage. The 50 most famous worldwide undertakings incorporate ranger service plans, hydroelectric dams, sun-based and wind ranches, garbage removal, and greener home device plans across 20, generally, non-industrial nations, as indicated by information from Allied Offsets, the most complete outflows exchanging dataset, which tracks projects from initiation. They represent close to 33% of the whole worldwide deliberate carbon market, VCM, recommending that garbage or exaggerated carbon credits that overstate emanation decrease advantages could be the standard. In our examination, a venture was delegated likely garbage in the event that there was undeniable proof, cases, or a high gamble that it couldn't ensure extra super durable ozone-harming substance cuts, among different rules. At times, there was proof recommending the task could release ozone-depleting substance discharges or shift outflows somewhere else. In different cases, the environmental benefits seemed, by all accounts, to be overstated, or the task would have happened freely, regardless of the deliberate carbon market. The discoveries come just before the UN environment desire reached its highest point in New York, in the midst of mounting worries that world chiefs will make further environment vows that depend on what non-industry specialists progressively allude to as imperfect market-driven arrangements as opposed to even-handedly and quickly changing off petroleum products. The consequences of this examination are tremendous, as it focuses on the foundational shortfalls of the willful market, giving extra proof that garbage carbon credits swarm the market, said Anuradha Mittal, overseer of the Oakland Research Organization. We can't bear to squander any more life on bogus arrangements. The issues are sweeping and inescapable, broadening far past unambiguous verifiers. The VCM is effectively intensifying the environmental crisis. The certifiers and vaults with most undertakings in the best 50 said the VCM was a significant device in battling the environmental emergency and that their techniques and protections were constantly moving along. Free specialists express that to get any opportunity of being compelling, carbon credits should be attached to new and super-durable emanations, decreasing exercises that lead to unexpected cuts that could not have possibly happened in any case and shouldn't prompt blowback to the climate or networks. Proof of misjudgment of how much carbon contamination an undertaking is truly saving, either deliberately or unexpectedly, is likewise key to deciding if a task can ensure guaranteed benefits. Our examination expands on past free examinations and scholastic investigations into the viability and shortcomings of the VCM in relieving a worldwide temperature alteration as the breakdown of the environment escalates. It draws on data from public and confidential sources, including scholarly examinations, common society research, offset project certifiers and registers, confidential area datasets and appraisals, and media examinations. Moreover, we evaluated the strength and thoroughness of the accessible proof and considered this for our review of each venture. The Watchman Corporate Responsibility Characterization Framework evaluated whether each offset undertaking could be counted upon to prompt the guaranteed extra, super durable discharge cuts or not. Surveying the well-being, social, monetary, or other nearby advantages or damages was beyond the extent of this examination and didn't impact the characterization. Solid proof of somewhere around one major bombing recorded implies the guaranteed outflow decreases, which is the assumed essential goal of the VCM, and each offset project can't be insured and were consequently delegated as likely garbage or useless. As indicated by our exploration, in excess of 33% of the main 50 undertakings had some proof of at least 3 major shortfalls. In one case, a monster woodland protection project in Zimbabwe was accounted for to have had such countless overstated and swollen claims, and most likely moved outflows somewhere else, that it was depicted as having more monetary openings than Swiss cheddar. Bloomberg detailed rating specialists who said the undertaking's discharge slices were misjudged by 5 to 30 overlays. In the U.S., the most tricky venture is the world's biggest carbon catch and capacity plant in Wyoming, which has profited from liberal citizen appropriations. However, by far most of the caught CO2 has been delivered into the air or offered to other petroleum product organizations to help remove hard-to-arrive oil as per the Establishment for Energy Financial Aspects and Monetary Examination. It is confirmed by the American Carbon Library, ACR, which said that new carbon credits have not been given for a long time, despite the fact that partnerships are resigning or buying old ones to balance outflows. 4 carbon market specialists said the discoveries depended on strong procedures and focused light on the entanglements of market-driven environmental arrangements, which can empower polluters to continue contaminating as opposed to progressing off petroleum products. At the core of carbon markets is seen by a lot of people the imperfect thought that staying away from or decreasing discharges in a single spot can compensate for progressing emanations somewhere else. Postponing the progress away from fossil fuels by buying contamination attributes just keeps up with the same old thing and improves the probability of environmental disaster, said Erica Lennon, a senior lawyer at the Middle for Worldwide Natural Regulations SEAL Environment and Energy Program. Ongoing examinations have tracked down central shortfalls in woodland offset projects, yet the issues, as per our exploration, give off an impression of being more far and wide in the business. Each of the 10 hydroelectric dams in the main 50 carbon balances, including the Teles Pires Dam in the Brazilian Amazon and the Karcham Wangtoo plant in the Himalayas, India, which have both confronted resistance from ancestral networks, was delegated likely garbage in our examination as the environmental advantages would have happened in any case, paying little mind to carbon credits. Various past examinations have shown that, although enormous dams cut public emanations, they don't prompt the new or extra decreases required for powerful carbon credits. Now and again, enormous dams have been related to land debates, removal, expanded destitution, and ecological harm, including a few ozone-depleting substances emanating from water supplies. In another model, a program in western Kenya gives water channels, so families never again need to bubble water with kindling for channels. However, the possible well-being and sterilization benefits are not addressed. According to a discharge viewpoint, it was delegated likely garbage in our examination because of what seemed, by all accounts, to be expanded gauge figures on the number of families that pre-owned kindling to warm water and overstated claims to a limited extent because of proof of low take-up of the channels. Barbara Haya, head of the Berkeley carbon exchanging venture, which as of late distributed a review that reasoned that Verra's RED plus woodland plans, as other significant offset projects, misrepresent environment benefits, said, "The generally speaking new discoveries line up with the exploration on carbon credit quality, which finds broad overcrediting across numerous vaults and offset project types, remembering those with the most credits for the market. Keep away from deforestation and sustainable power." Accordingly, Verra expressed that a large number of the issues featured in the report would be addressed in its impending new strategy for creating carbon credits. Back in 2021, the Global Energy Organization, IEA, cautioned that there could be no further development of oil, gas, and coal to get any opportunity to stay away from devastating environmental breakdown. The world neglected to notice the advance notice, and outflow cuts are ridiculously off course, as indicated by the new UN Worldwide Stocktake, the most exhaustive examination of worldwide environmental activity created to date. "The environment breakdown has started," said the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, after the most sweltering air and sea temperatures were recorded this late spring. "Our current circumstances are imploding faster than we can adjust to the superclimate events hitting each side of the planet." Researchers have for a really long time been cautioning about the dangers, yet rather than eliminating non-renewable energy sources, tremendous measures of time and assets have been put into market-based carbon offset plans and innovations that exchange, cap, and catch, as opposed to cut, ozone-depleting substance discharges. Assessed to be worth about $2 billion, the willful carbon market, VCM, is huge, divided, and obscure, including an intricate organization of designers, libraries, merchants, dealers, and financial backers that makes it hard to follow and assess the viability and potential damages connected to balance projects. Regardless of the intricacy, there are areas of strength for an interest in computing the advantages of balanced projects given the developing environment crisis and the absence of significant advancement in diminishing petroleum derivative creation and worldwide outflows. Scientists from Corporate Responsibility made a grouping framework to break down the viability of the main 50 offset projects, utilizing crude information from allied offsets. The vast majority of the main 50 was basically advanced as outflow evasion or decrease projects, yet in addition, they incorporated a small bunch of carbon evacuation plans. Carbon credits for each undertaking were guaranteed and given by one of 7 vaults. Each task had been confirmed by an outsider. The main 50 remembered 3 ventures for the U.S., including a tree establishing project in the Mississippi Delta, which a 2020 Bloomberg examination found took credit for trees that were at that point planted or would have been planted at any rate, and the Oil Organization project in Wyoming, which stores just a small portion of the carbon caught. Both were named likely garbage because of proof of different major downfalls. The American Carbon Vault, ACR, which ensured the 2 undertakings, dismissed the discoveries and sources depended upon for our examination. ACR said the tree establishing project had empowered many confidential landowners to reforest more than 130,000 sections of land in minor and corrupt locales in the Mississippi Delta. 47 of the main 50 ventures are in Latin America, Africa, and Asia, overwhelmingly in nations that have contributed the least to the environmental emergency, yet are being battered by its belongings. 5 of the 7 situated in Brazil were arranged by this examination as generally defective and logical garbage, while another is hazardous and possibly garbage. In adjoining Peru, every one of the 4 Ranger Service projects in our top 50 has proof of numerous shortfalls, making the carbon credits likely useless as per our examination. At least one basic blemish was viewed in 96%, 22 out of 23 of the wood offset projects, which are situated in Brazil, Colombia, Uruguay, Indonesia, Ethiopia, and Zimbabwe, among different nations. 15 of the 16 environmentally friendly power projects, which incorporate dams, solar, and wind, are logical garbage, generally on the grounds that the venture would have without a doubt happened in any case. While sustainable power is fundamental for energy progress, these carbon credit projects don't seem, by all accounts, to be prompting the guaranteed extra environmental benefits and ought not to be utilized by polluters to counterbalance outflows. Rather than trying to lessen the environmental emergency, The wealthy West and the carbon market have spent the last 25 years defending their high-transmitting businesses, creation, use, and way of life. It is a tale of advancement, rising inequality, and environmental deceit. The US-based non-benefit Vera, which operates the most recognizable carbon standard or library globally, guaranteed nearly 66%, 3250, of the most exchanged projects, which included 18 woodland counterbalancing projects known as RED Plus plans. Out of the 32 Vera projects that the Gatekeeper Corporate Responsibility examined, 28 were probably worthless, while the remaining 4 were complex and might not be useful. Vera has faced increasing scrutiny for its design and careless safeguards, such as a gatekeeper investigation that concluded its carbon offsets in the backcountry are essentially worthless and may worsen global warming. Vera discusses the evaluation of its projects in the backcountry. There is undeniable proof demonstrating the viability of RED Plus projects, said a Vera representative, who highlighted ongoing exploration papers, including a 2022 investigation of 40 RED Plus projects that found deforestation and corruption declined in the initial 5 years of execution. Vera didn't comment on the particular discoveries of this examination. However, in an explanation, she said, Vera's job is to guarantee that undertakings fulfill its program rules, with the end goal that they can be enrolled and get credits. Project advocates are allowed to hold, sell, or resign those credits from that point on at their discretion. Vera is glad to draw in with information, rethink presumptions, and consider future enhancements in light of sound criticism and master input. Our investigation tracked down comparative issues with offset projects from other certifiers. As per the Spotless Improvement System, CDM, a UN-drove program and the primary worldwide carbon exchanging plan, 5 of the 8 offset projects were delegated likely garbage, including the Teles Pires hydropower dam in Brazil, which has purportedly harmed native and customary networks, hurt biodiversity and fisheries, and is likewise presumably discharging critical fossil fuel byproducts. The CDM was laid out as a feature of the Kyoto Convention, which permits nations to help emanations decrease projects in different countries while counting them toward their own global environment responsibilities, and follows an extensive arrangement of models for choosing its tasks. A UN structure show on environmental change, UNFCCC representative said. Notwithstanding its objectives, the CDM has confronted various reactions to overstated claims and the absence of local area shields. One investigation discovered that the greater part of its guaranteed environmentally friendly power projects didn't give genuine, quantifiable, or extra outflow decreases. The agent added, the authoritative body is correct now managing the creation of another part, certifier, attempting to make it of the best possible reliability to thrash any deficiencies brought beforehand. The UNFCCC didn't answer developing worries that the feasible improvement component, SDM, which is supplanting the CDM, has proactively experienced harsh criticism by common society bunches across the world for advancing exercises that don't prompt outflow decreases and hazard damage to nearby networks and environments, in addition to other things. For another situation, 2 out of 4 undertakings on the Swiss-based highest quality level library, GSR, a water channel program in Kenya, and a cooking oven drive in Ghana that vows to cut discharges and deforestation, were likewise named likely garbage or useless from a carbon credits point of view. The extra emanation slices guaranteed are impossible because of misrepresented guarantees and swollen baselines, the examination found. GSR energetically dismissed the technique of the exploration and questioned the reason for its discoveries, saying the organization couldn't comment on the decisions about its activities. We give close consideration to new scholastic examinations and best practices and update our philosophies to guarantee they assess the main science, said Jamie Ballantyne from GSR. We have a market-driven complaint process that allows anyone to file a complaint about any endeavor, even though mistakes will inevitably be made. We are not able to ask for changes to particular efforts because of conflicting evidence every time a charge is made. The ACR leader overseer, Mary Grady, said, discoveries of an expanded standard misrepresented claims, and not extra ought to be reevaluated. She added that normal tree recovery was represented and would not distort the gauge or advantage computations, and that it was reasonable to expect the undertaking defender to oversee the operations for about 40 years. A number of companies announced last year that they intended to develop their own emission offset programs. However, experts caution that, given the mounting evidence and horrifying exposure, this could be a much more serious course of action. Huge sums of money were committed at the recent African environment culmination to support the creation of carbon credits on the landmass as carbon balances continue to grow as a source of environmental support for the global South. Immediate outflow reductions are without a doubt the primary strategy for mitigating environmental damage, said Barbara Haya, the project manager of the Berkeley Carbon Exchanging Task. After that, the offset market has not proven to be a trustworthy means of assisting with environmental moderation. If you like this video, please press the like icon and subscribe to the channel.